Hey guys, today I want to talk about how pornography is ruining your life if you're watching it or, you know, whatever. Um, so basically, I really do believe that the spiritual is real and there's a spiritual reality, Um, God, God created the world, that Jesus Christ was who he says he was. Um, and there's the spiritual world and there's the natural world. And the natural is just selfishness, reproduction, just nature, all that, like reproduce, whatever. But there's a selfishness in the natural way of things that will never satisfy, and it'll never be enough for you. Um, so pornography really relates to the spiritual and the natural because with pornography you are just um, you're just living in selfishness. When you're watching it or whatever, you're just gratifying yourself. Um, and the thing is, just like with a lot of different things, if you watch pornography, at first it seems like something good because it in the natural, in the physical, it feels good. Um, but there's so many little tricks in life, so many little traps, um, that um, where something will feel good, but it's not the best thing for you. So I had to like come to this conclusion a long time ago, that like something can feel really good. Um, it can make you feel really good. Um, but even if it feels really good and you can do it again and again to feel good, whatever it may be, um, the end result for that and what it does for your life isn't good. Um, and it can cause this selfishness and this dependence that makes you weak, and it makes you a slave to something. So even though it feels good and in the moment everything about it is good, in the long run it's something bad for your life. So pornography, what you're doing is you're feeding yourself, and really true happiness comes out of selflessness. Um, so when you're trying to fulfill yourself, you are a vacuum and you're taking everything from the world into yourself, and it won't ever be enough for you. But when you start to overflow and give and produce in the world and give to others in love, then you'll be happy. Pornography, you just kind of like, you watch it once, whatever, and you feel good, and you're like, okay, and you keep doing it, you keep watching, you keep whatever. Um, and um, over time, it just breaks away at your character, and any selflessness that you had towards women or men, whatever, just starts to go away, and you start to see people differently, and you get caught up in the natural way of things, and you get caught up in the world and how the world sees things, where it's just like you're just trying to fulfill yourself sexually. And so that breaks away your character to where you don't love women, because I'm pretty much talking to the men here, um, but also for women. You start to not love other people. You just start to look at them selfishly. And what this does is it makes you weak because you're not in a place to provide anything for anyone else. Instead, you're just looking to get for yourself. And so with the spiritual and the natural, so the natural is one side of things, and it's where pornography makes sense. You're just trying to be happy in the natural, whatever, and that's where selfishness is. But in the spiritual, you're able to actually be selfless and love other people. And so pornography just takes something so beautiful and makes it all only natural and only carnal and like animalistic and necessary, But with the spiritual, it gives some meaning to it. And sexuality is just like one of the most incredible things in the world. And with pornography, what you're doing is you're just making it strictly physical when it's meant to be something so much more. And I believe that it's meant to be something so much more spiritual. And it'll be fulfilling when it is out of love, a love relationship. Because the most fulfilling thing is love and giving to other people. When you're having sex, whatever, just for yourself, or watching pornography, it's like you're just living in selfishness, and you don't have a heart to love others. But when you have relationship with God, what happens is He fills you with His love, and then you're able to actually give to another person. So with pornography, it's like you're empty and you're trying to fill the void with something. So like for men, you're trying to fill the void with women, and you're trying to get something from women, and it's all selfish, and you don't actually produce anything. You only are fulfilling yourself, and it's only a temporary satisfaction. When what we're meant to be is love to other people. And the potential of sex is just so incredible, because you get an opportunity to actually be selfless love to another person, and lay your life down for them, and have a lifetime commitment of love to the other person. When the world and the natural just makes it something so physical and selfish, and the spiritual has so much more to offer in the arena of sexuality. So, like, I've just always had this like knowing that sexuality is something more, than just physical. And it's like we are meant for so much more than just fulfilling a desire. You know what I'm saying? And really, it's all about love and giving yourself up for another person, and that's what will satisfy. And so not even in the arena of sex, just like in life, if you're focused on giving yourself up for another person and loving them, that will be so much more of a fulfilling relationship than just taking from another person. Because love always produces something in the world, and selfishness always takes something for itself, And so when you're loving someone else, you're always producing something in their life, and you're helping them to grow. And if you're both having sex selfishly, then you're both just mutually taking from each other, and it doesn't give anything, it doesn't grow anything. But imagine um, imagine in a marriage or whatever, you're both giving to each other, and then how much more the other person will grow, and how much more beautiful sex will look. When you're not just fulfilling a desire, you know what I'm saying? You actually have something there. Both people already have this fulfillment, and you're just giving to each other. So, yeah, I just think that the world tries to tell us that it's just something physical, when it's not. It's something so much deeper than just fulfilling a desire. It's something so beautiful, and selfishness ruins it, and love makes it something so incredible. So much more than just the act, you know? It's like something spiritual, and just a commitment of laying your life down for the other person. And so, like in Christianity, Jesus reflects a marriage between man and a woman reflects Jesus' relationship with the church, how Jesus laid his life down for her. And so the same thing happens with men in a marriage. So men are kind of like Jesus, and the woman is kind of like the church. And the man is actually supposed to lay his life down for the church. And so it's so opposite of how it looks like in the world, where everyone is told that men just like need sex, and it's just like this natural desire that they must fulfill, and it just always makes it selfish, you know, when in reality it's meant to be this selfless love that is just something so beautiful. And like, it's not beautiful in the world. It's literally just so primal and fulfilling something and reproducing. And so, like, all that makes sense, but then you have the other reality of the spiritual, where it's love, you know? And that makes it something so much more important, where Jesus laid his life down selflessly for the church. And if you think about how the church responds to that, like, if you realize that you're loved by God, kind of like the reaction that gives you, that you're loved by God, and that you've found fulfillment in him, it's kind of like that. You can take that analogy and apply it to a marriage and sex. It's like when the man lays his life down for the woman and loves her, that's just so beautiful. And she's gonna have a similar reaction, you know, as the church does to Jesus. And so men and women also reflect it in the way that so Jesus lays his life down for the church, and basically Jesus gives men the ability to lay their lives down, because when he loves men are fulfilled in Christ. And then they love women, and they don't take from women, because they found fulfillment in Christ. And so then they're able to actually love instead of be selfish towards women. And so it takes like an understanding of Jesus and where we are in relationship with him, to know that we're not meant to lust after women. We're meant to love women. And it's just like the most huge lie ever, lust. To lust after women, because it takes something that's so incredible and it totally ruins it, and it can totally ruin your life. In the way that Um, your entire perspective on the opposite sex can just be totally ruined by this selfishness. And then every interaction or whatever, if you're really addicted or whatever, it can just change it to where you're always thinking selfishly instead of loving. And what will really make this world an incredible place is that love and producing something for women rather than taking it. So what is supposed to happen is man finds love in God and then overflows with that love towards women. And that's how marriage is supposed to work. But without that, you just have a void, and you're lusting after women to fulfill that desire. When we're created for something so beautiful and so loving. And that just really, I believe that love that we're intended to have for women just really makes them shine. Like in a marriage, when a man lays his life down for his wife, it just really, it's just an incredible difference when you're loving versus lusting. It's so basic and normal and selfish in the natural, whereas in the spiritual, you're just you're full of love for her. And yeah, even in the area of sex, it's like you're laying your life down for her, even in that, and showing her how much you love her, you know. So yeah, it's a really evil thing, and it's twisted up, one of those most beautiful things ever. And I think that the darkness just wants people to stay living in this selfishness, so they can't see the beauty of this, of love, of sex, out of love and not out of lust, sex out of selflessness, you know. So yeah, those are kind of my thoughts on it. Yeah, it's just like, there's something, yeah, the spiritual is just real, you know. And it's not just a physical thing. There's just no way, because we're spiritual beings, and there's goodness and there's evil in the world, and you know, we always want to be producing more goodness, not more evil. And that selfishness just takes away from the world, whereas that love is just so beautiful. Like, you're giving to someone else, and I don't know, there's just something so beautiful about that, for your wife to know that you're loving her, you know, selflessly, and you're giving your life up for her, and that's what we want, guys, you know. That's what we really want. You don't want to just get this feeling. Like, true satisfaction comes out of love, and that feeling is just an amazing pleasure, but you can't like base everything on that, because it's just a temporary pleasure in the moment. So you got to base yourself on love, and then that love is what is so fulfilling. Loving a woman, or for women, loving a man and wanting the best for them, and laying down your life for them, you know. And that's what is so beautiful, and fulfilling, you know. You're reflecting the love of God and the love you've received, and you're fulfilled in yourself, you're fulfilled in Christ, and then you're giving it to someone else. And that's where the joy and the love comes from. And that's what helps a relationship to grow. You can't grow the relationship if you're both just having sex selfishly, you know? You're just like, I mean, if you're both in a relationship selfishly, it's just waiting to end. But if it's love, then you're both looking out for each other and helping each other to grow, and you both care about each other more. And that's the most beautiful thing. That's where it's satisfying, you know? So, yeah, guys. The satisfaction in life just always comes through love, not selfishness, you know? So, same thing for sex. It's meant to be something, so much greater. And, yeah, those are just my thoughts on it. Yeah. We want to be chasing after love and, selflessness in life, because, that's where that true joy is. We want to be producing in the world and, you know, bring goodness into other people's lives. And so, yeah, those are my thoughts, guys. But that's just the things that I felt like I've heard from God. So, yeah, guys, love you guys. Hope that helps someone, to encourage you to, yeah, just don't get around pornography, you know. Y'all have a great day.